Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're doing something a little bit different. Me and a few of the lads were talking this morning on Twitter about who the best blaster hero in the game currently is. And it was a really interesting discussion, so we thought we'd actually turn it into a video. So I am joined today by my good man, JediJazza. How's it going, brother?
Good man, how are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. And I'm also joined by Sammyboiii. You guys all know him, I'm very sure. How you doing, Sammy?
I'm doing well, thanks lads. How are you?
Good, good. Are we ready to talk about some blaster heroes, even though we've already had this conversation this morning?
Let's do it.
So I'm very, very ready.
Cool. All right, so we're going to jump straight in. You guys that are listening today, I'm going to have the links to Jazza and Sammy down in the description below. They both have really good channels, so if you guys want to check out them as well, be sure to do that after watching this video. But first topics first. All right, you guys, I'm going to pitch it to you guys before I put mine. Who's the best blaster hero in the game? Sammy, go.
Oof. I'm going to be a bit biased and I'm going to say Boba Fett.
Ooh, okay. Controversial. Why?
Yeah. Just purely because of the jetpack. I reckon he's on par in terms of damage with everyone else. Not, there's probably characters like Han, for example. He's probably a bit more on the damage output, but with Boba, you have the ability to escape situations so much better than not only just the blaster heroes, but even the saber heroes as well. So when there's like tanks or enemy saber heroes coming at you, if you're playing as, say, Han or Finn or someone, you can win, but most of the time you're going to be in a bit of a pickle. Whereas with Boba, I think you can pretty easily escape most situations. So that's mainly it. It's just survivability, really.
Yeah, definitely a good point. And Jazza, what about you? Who do you think is the best blaster hero in the game? And I'm sure you'll have a bit of bias as well.
Possibly, but actually, even though he's not my favorite, I would say Han.
Yep.
Would be the best. His damage output is insane. Like, his blaster at close range is ridiculous, and not to mention you can snipe with it on like the longer maps.
Yeah,
he's got two. Yep, and Crate.
Yeah.
And also just his knockdown. The fact that he can knock down sabers better than any other blaster hero with his shoulder charge and his detonite.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest advantage with Han, is having the ability to knock down saber heroes twice. And anyone that has played Han for more than like half a minute knows that the combination between the shoulder charge, the detonite, and then like throwing, or after you've thrown that, then like just shooting them to finish them off can kill pretty much any lightsaber hero in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with the right star cards.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, exactly. In saying that though, if you guys had to pick a top three, obviously, like Sammy, you said Boba, Jazza, you said Han. For me, it's Han as well, but that's just because I'm most practiced with Han. It was Boba before the rocket nerf. I know they've kind of fixed him now, but I played him a lot more back then, and then I got away from playing him when they nerfed the rockets, because I did use them a fair bit. And I think it's a matter of being able to aim the blaster. So if you practice with Boba a lot, he can be super effective. But if you're not practiced with aiming his blaster, that's when you're going to struggle. So in terms of a top three, Sammy, who would you put, like Boba at number 1? Who would you put at 2 and 3?
I would go Han as a very close second. It's not much of a difference for me. And like I said, his damage is, I would say he can deal more damage than Boba for sure. It's really just the survivability that doesn't put him at number 1 for me. And then for 3, I would probably go Finn. I would say it's between Finn and Iden. They're very close. Iden has the stun, so that's a big help. But then Finn has an aimbot and a health buff. So I'd probably say Finn as 3. But yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, I think that's another one. Like, a lot of people underrate Finn, I feel like. But for me, if you can aim his blaster and you've got good aim with him, like not just aim down sight, but also from hip fire, he can be a machine. Like at close range, he can still destroy other heroes. It's really effective.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a lot of that was why I used to suck with him as well, was I would aim down sights way too much, and I kind of just got used to, same with Han actually, got used to just hip firing way more, and it's, if you can land those shots, he's absolutely deadly.
Yeah, he's a killer. And what about you, Jazza? Number 2 and 3 for you. Number 1 was obviously Han, same as me, but you're 2 and 3.
Yeah, so my top 4 is the same as what you guys have said. Just the order's a little bit different. So obviously I got Han number 1, Boba a very, very close second. I've had a lot of practice with Boba and gotten pretty good at aiming, especially while flying, and that's a huge advantage. But 3 for me is probably still Iden, just slightly. A little bit due to her stun, which Finn sort of doesn't really have that defense against sabers. You have to be significantly higher skill than a saber user to take them out. But also her alternate fire, so she's actually got something that can go through blocks, which is something that Finn doesn't have.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big advantage too, and the fact that the damage on the secondary fire is so high as well. You know, you can pretty much one-shot infantry except for heavies if you get a clean shot with the secondary fire. So
yeah, that, and the fact that also you can follow up with regular fire, like literally
immediately
after throwing down a secondary. So like that takes out heavies pretty quick.
Do you guys think the secondary on Iden's a little bit OP?
Absolutely. I think it's one of the most overpowered things in the game, to be honest.
Yeah.
Against troopers, anyway.
Because I mean, what's the damage on?
It's 150.
It's 150.
150 bang on the feet. So like, do you even think like tacking it down to like 120 or 130? Do you think that would make a big difference, or do you think it's the ability to be able to fire the primary blaster immediately after firing the secondary that would need a change?
I think it should be at longer range. You shouldn't be able to deal 150. I think maybe at close range you should be able to, but you can literally be across the map, and if you can land a shot, you're going to kill someone. So
yeah,
that's why that kind of annoys me about Iden, is you just get those players similar to Leia who just sit like outside an objective and they'll just shoot in there, and you know,
across the bridge on Camino. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. Across the bridge on Camino is absolutely cooked.
So I would say maybe make it so that like at long range it only deals 100 or something, and then I think not a big delay, but just a very slight delay between the alternate and her regular, you know, blaster fire, just to give them at least a bit of a chance to survive.
Yeah, I'd do the same. I'd have a damage drop off the same as what you'd have for a regular blaster, something like that.
Yeah.
So that if it's fired and the secondary's travelled like, I don't know, 30 meters in the air, it should only deal 100 damage when it lands or something, just as a balance change.
I think that's my biggest pet peeve about Iden, is just the spammers. And like, we all do it, I do it from time to time, but it's the people who just like, they don't even use their blaster, they'll just stand in a doorway and do it. It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah,
it's a little bit spammy for sure. I think they could definitely tweak it in a way that it would be better balanced and a bit more like well-rounded. Because right now,
I also think if they made it the delay between shots a bit bigger as well, because you can shoot those down range so quick. I reckon maybe like even double the time between, you know, shots, something like that.
Yeah,
they're going to keep it at 150. At least you can still. It's not like you can't, you know, shoot it quickly. So something like that, I think, might help as well. But then it might be
some sort of penalty is required.
Definitely. Yeah. And staying on that kind of topic in terms of what needs to be balanced, let's talk about a couple of like the best and worst abilities for each of the blaster heroes. And I think, you know, if you guys could pick like one worst ability out of all the blaster heroes and one best ability, what would they possibly be? Because for me, I think the worst would easily be Princess Leia's squad shield. And then I think, you know, maybe as a best ability, it's kind of hard because I'm biased, because I think Han's Detonite Charge is probably one of the best abilities in the game by far. But what about you guys? Like, I'll probably pass to Jazza first. Like, if you want to jump in, what do you think worst and best abilities?
I think worst, I would probably agree that it's Leia's squad shield. It's just far too situational and just doesn't do enough to actually help Leia or really anyone, apart from objectives. I'm going to be biased on the best though and say Lando's Sharp Shot.
Yep.
Because it's such an easy ability to use, and you know, getting 4 or 5 kills with one click of a button
without having to aim.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, that's just a pot shot at Lando mains.
That's okay, I can take it.
Good. And Sammy, what about you? What are your two worst and best?
For me, it's probably the squad shield as well, but maybe Boba's concussion without the star card that has the blaster disabler. With that, it's somewhat decent, but without that, it's literally like throwing a rock at someone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably still say Leia's shield, because that is literally just useless. It's okay against like if you're in a do or die situation, but you're not gonna, it's not gonna help that much. As for the best, I'd probably say sharp shot as well. I guess. That or Han's Dead Knight, really, the two that you guys said.
Yeah.
To me, they're the kind of standouts, I reckon.
Sharp shot is very noob friendly.
Or possibly Finn's Deadeye, maybe, but I don't think it's quite as good as those two.
It's powerful for sure, but yeah, I don't think the reason I picked the Det Knight charge is because if you're up against a Saber hero, like a Det Knight as an ability is probably gonna do better than like a sharp shot.
Yeah, that's true.
Because a Saber hero is just gonna deflect it, and then with a Det Knight at least you've got a chance of them not being able to deflect that, and they'll take some kind of damage. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Anyway, and you guys, like, we all had the same agreements on the squad shield, so that's obviously the worst ability, and we do know that Leia is getting a couple of changes to her ability, so something's getting tweaked, something's getting changed completely, and something's getting a buff. We're all pretty sure that the squad shield is what's going to get completely changed, like taken out and replaced with something else. What do you guys think that could be for Leia that would potentially improve her as a blaster hero, because she hasn't even come up in this discussion yet until now?
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to replace it with. It's kind of a tough one. Like, she could have a lot of different things. Something that suits her, I guess, personality would be some sort of health buff, but then to me, there's just too many on the light side that will have a health buff, so I'd be okay with it. Maybe a health buff just for her, not teammates or something. But then then I guess that doesn't really
sense.
suit her playstyle, since she's the general and stuff.
Yes.
So that's really all that comes to mind straight away. I'm sure if we had a full-on sit down and thought about it, we could come up with some good stuff. But I guess I would just say some sort of health buff, or like some variant of that, like a like a recharge command or something like that.
Yeah, and Jazza, what about you? What do you think they could replace the squad shield with?
I'm going to take a different approach, because when that was announced that she was getting an ability completely changed, my first thought initially actually wasn't the squad shield, but the flash grenade.
Flash grenade, yeah.
So my thought was, if you remember the scene in the Return of the Jedi when she goes into Jabba's palace and she's got the thermal detonator.
Thermal detonator, yeah.
Instead of a flash grenade, possibly. Just some way of dealing a lot of damage and make it sort of better than the assault version.
Yeah, so something that does 250 damage. That would make her a beast.
And you could potentially give her some sort of secondary effect with it, like it highlights nearby enemies or something like that.
Yeah, like a detonator with a scan pulse kind of thing attached to it or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that would be pretty wicked. Yeah, it's really hard to think about, because we don't know which abilities are being tweaked, which ones being buffed, and which ones being replaced. But I would assume that the squad shield's not going to hang around. You can't really buff the squad shield in any way. You could adjust it maybe so that Leia could fire out of it.
Yeah, I heard a really good someone, I don't know where I saw this, it must have been on Twitter or something. Someone said that instead of, because I think most people assume that the modification will be the flash grenade, but someone said that they could modify the shield so that when teammates are in it, it's like a constant health buff pretty much, and then she can shoot out of it, and that would turn it into an actually pretty decent ability, I think. But I think I would say that the flash grenade is what will get modified, and I think it should deal some damage, and it should reveal enemies. I reckon pretty much exactly what Jazza said, really. Just really turn it into a grenade, but they could keep it a flash grenade and keep it blinding you, but also deal a bit of damage, not like a heap of damage, maybe.
Yeah, so blinding effect,
maybe like 100
damage. Yeah.
Well, they could even do what the officer has with his flash grenade, do something like that for Leia instead.
Yeah. But I think if you're gonna differentiate between the officer and Leia, don't have the split effect that the officer's flash grenade has. Like, Leia's should just be explodes on impact kind of thing.
Yeah, I like that about hers, that it's like no one has a chance to escape it. It's just like you throw it, and then if it deals damage, it's just like the heavy impact grenade. You can't really dodge it. And
then the blinding effect on top of it. See, I really like that idea. I think that would be a great change.
Yeah, because I also think a lot of people don't actually know this, but with Leia's flash grenade, it actually can stop sabers from locking onto you when
Yes.
when they get
Yeah,
flashed,
the same as the
Like
smoke,
Lando's
yeah.
smoke,
which is a huge advantage in. It's really the only defense she's got against sabers currently.
I would
in
also
the- in
like
the
it
hero
if it
modes.
did similar to what the like shock grenades do, where it maybe slows enemies down for a bit, because she has no defense. I mean, she has the shield, but that's not defense against saber heroes. I'd like it if it maybe, you know, when you not so much as you're walking through a shock grenade, but say like I don't know, does the
Like
concussion
Dooku's
yeah, like that, just kind of slows you down a little bit,
exposed weak.
just
Yes.
enough that you can, like, if say a saber hero is coming at you, you can hit them with it, it'll deal a bit of damage and it'll slow them down and blind them for a couple seconds,
Takes
just
them
to
back to
give
a
you at
walk
least a
for 2
chance.
seconds or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, the officer's flash grenade used to do that. It used to slow you down, I reckon, and
Yeah.
they removed it. So they
Yeah.
should give that to Leia. That would be a good
they
change.
honestly should have just given back. I remember you said this ages ago, Twisted, like probably, I don't know, 18 months ago, that they
Yeah.
should just swap the grenades. Literally just
Yeah,
swap them.
give her
That
the
would have been
officer's
perfect.
one and give the officer her one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, would have been absolute. I don't see any balancing issues with that in any way. I think that would have been perfect.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up there. We did have one more dot point, but we might save that for another video just so this doesn't end up being 20 minutes. Because, we don't want too many ads on YouTube. So we are going to wrap it up there. I appreciate both of you guys. I'm sure everyone values your opinions and what you guys think in terms of balancing heroes. And, I think in terms of the best blaster hero, it's who each player prefers and who they're most practiced with. But there's definitely a significant difference between certain heroes. Like you compare Han to Leia. Han is obviously the more powerful hero. But then again, like there can be really close differences. Like a comparison between, Han and Boba, it's more just comes down to who you're better with or who you've practiced with. So for me, definitely it's Han. Jazza, your probably best hero for the blaster heroes as a wrap up would be
Lando. He's the one I'm most practiced with.
Yeah, and Sammy, what about you?
Yeah, mine's definitely Boba.
Yeah, Boba.
I'm terrible with blaster heroes, but he's probably my best hero overall.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. It's really hard to decide who the best blaster hero in the game is because everyone has a different play style. Everybody prefers different heroes and is more practiced with certain heroes over others. So just see who you're comfortable with, see who you enjoy playing the most, and stick with them. Get really practiced, and that's probably going to be your best hero. So thank you, Jazza and Sammy, for joining today. It was a really fun video.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, cheers.
All good. So yeah, guys, links are down in the description below if you guys want to check these two dudes out. They are amazing. Their quality content is always there. So make sure to sub to them and we will see you for a future video like this before because we do have more planned. So let us know down in the comments if you enjoyed this style of video and we will see you in the next one. May the Force be with you always.
The Sith are all powerful. You are no match for me.